Everyone, it's your almighty Loaf here, back again with another Batman review, and this time I'm going to be reviewing Batman Begins, which is the fifth Batman movie, specifically the fifth Batman movie after Batman and Robin, and this time it is a straight up reboot that is directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale as Batman, aka Bruce Wayne. Now, this is the second Batman reboot, and this was the movie that had everyone questioning whether or not there was ever going to be a good Batman movie after the disastrous Batman and Robin. Because Batman and Robin, as you guys know, is a disaster of a film. It's really bad, and we were all wondering, was there ever going to be a good Batman movie? Was there ever going to be a movie that would stand the test of time? Was there ever going to be a good, I mean, good Batman movie? Well, that question was finally answered with Batman Begins, and Batman Begins is easily one of the best Batman reboots and one of the best Batman movies ever made. It's a masterpiece from start to finish, and it is really a movie that you could just watch again and again, and it's really one of the best Batman movies ever made. So, what makes this Batman movie stand out from the rest of the Batman movies before? Well, this is the first time we've ever seen Bruce Wayne get his origin story of how he became the Batman. I mean, listen, we've all seen the Batman movies before with Batman and Batman Returns of how he became the Batman in terms of the flashback scenes, of his parents getting killed in the alleyway. But it just basically it in the Batman movies before it just cuts to 23, 30 years later where he's already Batman. This movie, it's the process of him becoming the Batman. I'm trying to best explain it this way, the process of how he became the Batman. Because in the movie, he's been living with this fear this whole life. His parents are dead. He doesn't have anybody except for Alfred, and he's been living with this fear, and he can't control this fear. And then later, in the movie later on, he joins the League of Shadows to control his fear, and he finds out the League of Shadows are corrupt, and he goes back to Gotham and decides that he could do something in Gotham and become the symbol known as Batman, and process, and it shows that how he finds the suit, how he creates the suit, how he turns into the Batman, and it's never ever been explored in a Batman movie ever, and it was so amazing for the first time to see this Batman movie of how he became the Batman. It's of how Bruce Wayne became Batman. It's something like special. It's something we've never ever seen before, and Christopher Nolan did an amazing job of putting this type of energy, this type of origin story of how Bruce Wayne became Batman, and it's really it's incredible, and I loved that they made this part of the movie true of how he's just a guy that he can't control his fear, and later on he controls his fear and becomes more than what more than what he fears of. He is that fear. He is the man. He is the Batman. So, and even what makes this movie stand out from the rest of the Batman movies before, it was not only just dark but also intense. If honestly, the movie came out when I was 2 years old, so would have never seen this movie before. But if I was 8 or 9 when this movie came out, if I grew up in the 2000s, I would be scared. I would be scared because of how intense this movie is. Like the promos, the TV spots, I would be scared. This movie was easily intense. It was a very, very intense film. And that's never been shown in the Batman movie, because all the Batman movies before, Batman and Batman Returns were very dark, but they're very goofy. All the Batman movies before were goofy, but Batman and Batman Returns were the only ones that were dark. I can give it that. But this was dark and intense, and it was like, oh my god, it's really a Batman movie. It's really a Batman movie, and that's what makes this movie incredible. Even the atmosphere of the movie, Gotham it's crime infested, dirty city. It's, oh my god, it's scary. It's scary. I mean, Batman and Batman Returns are also very dark. We're also had a dark, infested crime infested city. But this was also another Batman movie that was dark and infested, crime infested city. It was scary. It was scary. Yes, the movie still has humor, but it doesn't just pop. It doesn't pop out. It's slow. It comes in. It comes in a while. But mostly the movie it's mostly dark and intense, and that's never been shown in a Batman movie ever. And I was honestly, the first time I saw this, I was kind of scared. I was a little bit scared, and that's exactly that. That's exactly that. This movie, it's dark and intense. It's almost like a horror movie. It's almost like in a way, it's almost like a horror movie. I mean, now we got the Batman. It's also right now. It's also a horror movie. But before that, this was really a truly, almost like a horror movie. Yet it still is an action packed film, and I gotta give it that. It really is like action packed, and it also shows, how he's this movie, how Bruce Wayne is never. It's not also another point about that. It shows that Bruce Wayne is like almost a warrior. He's almost a well, he is a warrior in the movie when he joins the League of Shadows and he finds out it's corrupt. He's a warrior, and it's never ever been shown in a Batman movie. We all know that he's like this vigilante, try to beat up bad guys, save the city. And he's a Sigma male. He's a warrior, and he becomes this legendary legend. And it's so amazing. It's never been explored. It's never ever been explored in the Batman movie, and I love that. I love that part about Batman. Batman Begins. It's honestly mind blowing how Christopher Nolan did this film, and Christopher Nolan I think is a one of a kind director, and thank honestly thank God Christopher Nolan did this, because honestly I don't see anybody else making a Batman movie during this time. He's the only director to understand this movie, to make this movie, and just to do something that has never been explored in a Batman movie forever, and I gotta give him props for that. So let's move away from the aspects of that part of the movie and talk about the aspects I want to talk about the most, and that is the action and the characters. So first off, the action movie. Honestly, I know a lot of people shit on the action sequences in the movie because it's way too like you can't really see what's going on, but I kind of like it. I mean, it grew on me a little bit. I mean, at first I was like, "Oh, what? I can't see what Batman's doing. What is he doing? What is he doing?" But now it makes a little bit more sense. It kind of shows that he's this mysterious figure, and he's taking down these bad guys, and it's like shaky. It's I want to say it's like shaky. No, it's not really like shaky cam. It's more in line of like, oh, this mysterious figure. What is he doing? What is he doing? And it shows that it doesn't really show that and I like the fact that it doesn't show that he's just fighting these. We're seeing what he's doing. It makes it a little bit more intense of how he's fighting these characters. This mysterious figure. He's fighting these characters. How is he doing it? How is he getting all these bad guys? I like that. I kind of like it. I know a lot of people shit on. I could be wrong, but I know a lot of people shit on the action sequences. But I love it. I love it. The only time you get to really fully see an action sequence was with Ra's al Ghul and Batman versus Ra's al Ghul on the train sequence. You get to see a little bit more of how they fight. But honestly, it grew on me, and I love these action. I love this action sequences. It makes it intense and makes you wonder. Oh, how is he doing it? How is he getting all these bad guys? How is he doing it? How is he doing it? What's going on? I love it. I love that, and it grew on me, and I appreciate that part of the movie, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, and of course we have the characters, and specifically the actors playing the characters. Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. I mean, come on. He's amazing. He's amazing as Batman. He does an amazing job. He's got the billionaire playboy persona, and he's just awesome in the movie. He even beginning of the movie, he's kind of like this guy who's he's like I said before, he's been living with this fear this whole life. But in the later part of the movie, he's kind of this confident badass. He confident badass who lives a double life. He's the billionaire playboy who, who doesn't care, and he's like a sigma. He's a sigma alpha in the movie, and he's so cool. Like he's so cool. And in the movie, an example in the movie is when he buys the hotel, and he even gives Fox the job that Richard Earl once had. He's a boss. He's a Sigma Alpha. He is a true boss, and Christian Bale did an amazing job with this performance. He's amazing as Bruce Wayne, and of course he's amazing as the one and only the Batman. And honestly, I fucking love his voice in the movie. I know a lot of people shit on his voice because he sounds like a sick dude, like a sick dude. But I mean, listen, it's basically to hide who he is. If he can't use his regular voice, he can't use. I mean, in the movie, there's no like voice modifier. There's no voice modifier like the ones in BVS. He has to use a different persona. He's different when he's in the bat suit. So he uses that voice, which is fear. Where are the drugs going? I don't want to be too loud because my dad's working. Swear to me. Like that. That's the voice. That voice is like that voice. I know a lot of people shit on it, but it's fear, and it's exactly that. I love it. I don't care. I love Batman's voice, and Christian Bale did an amazing job. Swear to me. Where are you gonna find him? I'll take a look into it. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. Like, I mean, it's not exactly that, but it's awesome. I love his voice, and I gotta give props to that. But besides Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne, of course, I love the other characters. Michael Caine as Alfred is fantastic Alfred. I gotta give him props to that. He's amazing, and he's really awesome. Gary Oldman is Commissioner Gordon. He's also awesome in the movie. Even Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, perfect fan casting. He's amazing as Ra's al Ghul. And even Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, of course. He's amazing as that character. Then we have Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes, a good character, definitely not the best, but a good character and a good, good friend to Bruce, good old friend to Bruce. I mean, she was inspiring. She was an inspiring character, and I gotta give her props to that. That's important about that. And then Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. A lot of people don't give him credit for his role, but he's amazing. I think he's really awesome, and I gotta give him credit for that. I could be wrong, but I really think I don't think a lot of people give him credit for this role. He's amazing. I gotta give him that. He's really awesome, and he's just so cool. He already has the equipment already there, and Lucius, Bruce Wayne gets this equipment, and he gives this equipment to him, and I gotta give him props to that because he made a legend. He had this equipment for Bruce Wayne, so Bruce Wayne becomes the legend. So yeah, and then of course, that's all the characters I gotta say. I mean, honestly, the best character of the movie besides Bruce Wayne, the best side character is Ra's al Ghul. I mean, what makes Ra's al Ghul special is that he's basically this guy trying to help the Bruce Wayne, and he wants to make, Bruce Wayne more than just a man. He wants to make him into this legend. But what Bruce Wayne doesn't know is that he's a fucked up cult leader who wants to destroy Gotham with his organization. And, Bruce has to stop Ra's al Ghul from destroying Gotham. And it's something special. I mean, it's something special. And it's never really been... it's never... Actually, no, never mind. Never mind about that. Well, yeah. It's really something special, and I'm happy Ra's al Ghul exists in this film. it's definitely meant for this film, and he's just a badass. He's a badass. A lot of people don't call him. Usually, he does not in the movie. He's not really called. He is called Ra's al Ghul, but he's also called Henri Ducard. But I still consider him to be Ra's al Ghul. Because in the movie there was already another Ra's al Ghul, but as he's got a spoiler alert, he dies. But in the movie, he's now Ra's al Ghul. He's Ra's al Ghul, and we consider him to be the true Ra's al Ghul, because he's legendary, man. He's legendary. He's got the beard, the cool look, and he's just a cool as he's just a cool ass looking villain. Yet he has fucked up motives, but he's a cool ass villain, and I gotta give props to that. So yeah, overall, Batman Begins is a legendary Batman movie from start to finish. It's one of the best origin stories. It's one of the best reboots ever, and easily one of the best Batman movies ever created. It is so incredible from start to finish. The characters are awesome. The action sequences are cool. It's dark and intense. It's never an origin story that's never been included in this film, that from the previous Batman films. An origin story that's never really been explored, and it's finally been explored in this film. It is a true masterpiece, and that's why I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.